Welcome back, tribe. I have another fire episode here for you guys. This one I have titled The Brewing of a Man, Why Most Guys Stay Weak While Others Level Up. And I wanted to share a story with you guys about the time I spent a weekend at my boy's microbrewery. This was way back in the day when I was in college in California, and how that kind of shaped and changed my life, how I see everything about personal growth, actually. I was watching a man I knew during the building process of his business, and that shit was a pivotal moment to say the least. I saw him turn down customers begging for unfinished batches. He said, "It's ready when it's ready." That's what he literally told those people. And it hit me different. It left like a mark. I always figured the customer was always right and to rush and to please them and to make a sale at all costs. That's what it meant to be a businessman. But it kind of related to self-improvement because all around me, I keep seeing men trying to basically microwave their development. 6-pack abs in 6 weeks, millionaire mindset by Monday, master level skills without master level dedication. They're running their lives like those mass production beer companies, pumping out weak product just to have something to sell. My boy pulled out 2 bottles from different batches. First one was like rushed, cheap ingredients, forced fermentation. Second one he made right, quality ingredients, perfect temperature, given its time. And he told me taste both. The difference, night and day. One tasted like piss water, the other, pure art. Then we go on to move through his brewery setup. He stopped at the ingredient storage, showed me 2 types of hops. I don't even know what I'm looking at. They looked basically identical. One cost 4 times more. Most people couldn't tell the difference looking at them, he said, but everyone can taste it in the final product. You see, your life works just like this. The content you consume, the people you surround yourself with, the habits you maintain, they're all ingredients. You're brewing something every day, whether you realize it or not. Loading your mind with social media trash, that's like using dollar store ingredients and expecting the premium beer. The guy takes inventory every single day, checks every ingredient, tests water quality before every batch. Most people looking in would call it excessive or obsessive. He calls it essential. Excellence isn't one big decision, he told me. It's 1,000 small ones. Think about it. Standing over these fermentation tanks, he pointed to this wild-looking mixture. Some shit was like bubbling, foaming, straight up looking like something went wrong, or some orcs from Isengard were ready to pop out. Everyone wants to skip this stage, he says. They see chaos and think they messed up. But this chaos, this is where the magic happens. That fermentation stage mirrors every transformation worth making. Your mindset breaking down, old beliefs bubbling up, everything feeling out of control. Most men panic here, try to rush through it, skip it, end up with half-developed character and wonder why life tastes bitter. Mid-afternoon, I watched him dump an entire batch, thousands of dollars right down the drain. His logic, one bad batch can ruin your reputation. One compromised standard changes who you are. It made me think about all the standards I compromised because changing course felt too expensive. I had the sunk cost fallacy. Walking through that temperature control room, he showed me how half a degree can change everything. Too hot, good bacteria dies. Too cold, nothing grows. Environment isn't just important, he said. It's everything. Most guys try to grow in toxic environments, level up while they're surrounded by people who want them small. Building something in a purely contaminated space. That's like trying to brew premium beer next to an open sewer. Doesn't matter how good you are or how good your ingredients are. The area is toxic. I even watched him turn away potential investors that day. They were wanting to speed up production, scale up faster, cut corners, boost in profit, all the same bullshit you hear about investors wanting. He didn't even consider that shit. Money can't rush what time needs to finish, he said. He didn't even look up from his work when he said it, like straight fucking gangster shit. Said it with absolute certainty and belief, not a whiff of bullshit or doubt. You could etch those words in stone. Walking through that brewery, watching the different batches at different stages, and it's wild how much it mirrors our own growth. Some batches are in those huge primary fermenters going through the aggressive early stage. Others are in the secondary, slowly developing complex flavors. Each batch needs its own time, its own process. The guys who get it wrong, they're like those mass production factories trying to force every batch through the same timeline, the same exact process, but quality doesn't work that way. Your batch isn't going to look like anyone else's. Your fermentation, your development, that shit's unique to you. My brewery friend dropped some knowledge that stuck with me. He pointed at this massive tank and he said, inside there is a million things that are happening that I can't even see. My job isn't to control everything. It's to create the right conditions and trust the process. Holy fuck is what I thought to myself. If that ain't the perfect description of personal growth, you can't force it. You can't control every little thing, but you can control your environment, control what you put in, and control who you let near your brew. Think about this. A master brewer would never let some random person walk in and start messing with their tanks. But in life, we let any random person's opinion affect our process, let any social media influence and mess with our mindset. That's like throwing random ingredients into a perfectly good brew and expecting it not to mess up the whole batch. The quality shows in the details, guys. My boy tests his brews constantly, checks gravity, pH, all that scientific shit. Not because he's obsessed with numbers, but because he knows small imbalances early can ruin the whole batch later. Same way you got to check yourself, your habits, your mindset, your progress. These small daily measurements matter. You might not see the impact today or tomorrow, but over time, that's what makes the difference between premium quality and some watered down garbage. Walking past the aging barrels, my boy points out something wild. The older barrels give different flavors than the new ones. Each batch picks up character from what came before it. It made me think about mentorship, about learning from those who've already walked the path. The most fire brews in that whole place, they're the ones that spent time in barrels that held something else before them. They picked up complexity from what came before them. But you got guys out there trying to figure everything out from scratch, too proud to learn from experience, thinking they know better than centuries of wisdom. The same fucking guy came into the brewery again, that investor, while I was there wanting my boy's recipe this time. He offered him good money too. My boy laughed. Recipe ain't worth shit without understanding the process. Straight fucking facts. All these guys looking for blueprints to success, wanting the exact steps, the perfect formula, they don't get that the magic isn't in the recipe, motherfucker. It's understanding the principles behind it. Let that sink in. And I was watching him work with his apprentice. That shit was another level of education. The kid was eager, wanted to rush every step. My boy kept slowing him down, teaching him to feel the process. He said speed comes from mastery, not from rushing. The whole time I'm there, he never stopped moving. He was cleaning equipment, checking temperature, making tiny adjustments. Most people don't see this part of brewing. They just see the final product, the nice bottle, the perfect pour. They don't see the 1,000 little actions that make it possible. Your growth works the same way. It's not about the big moments. It's about the daily maintenance, the constant small adjustments. That's the invisible work. No one ever sees that shit. Then we move on and we're sampling the latest batch. He tells me about this brewery that rushed their cleaning process. One small mistake. Their whole system got infected. Had to shut down for months, lost their reputation in the market, all because they try to save a little time on something fundamental. That's the thing about building yourself as well. One compromise standard, one just this once shortcut can infect your whole process. Excellence isn't a destination you reach. It's a standard you maintain. End of the day at this brewery, we were pouring his best batch at the time. Stuff he's been aging for a couple years. The kind of brew that tells a story with each sip. Standing there, watching the sunset through those huge fermentation tanks, everything clicked. Success leaves clues. Every bottle in that brewery told the same story. No shortcuts, no compromises, no rushing. What needs time to develop. The bottles that got rushed, sitting in the drain. The ones that got proper time, flying off the shelves at a premium price. Your development follows these same laws. You can lie to yourself, lie to others, try to fake it, but just like brewing, the final product tells the truth. People taste your character. They feel your authenticity. They know when you put in the work and when you cut the corners. It shows, honestly, especially in your body. The world's full of mass-produced people, cookie-cutter personalities, fast-track development that lacks depth. They follow the surface-level recipe, but they miss the underlying principles. Chasing the results, but skipping the process. My boy's last words before I left stuck with me. Every batch I make carries the lessons from every batch I ever ruined. Your mistakes, your failures, your bad batches, they're not wasted ingredients. They're part of the recipe. The bitter stuff adds complexity to your character. Quality has a price. It might be time. It might be comfort. It might be money. It might be all three. Who knows? But unlike money, quality, once brewed, becomes part of who you are. You can't lose it in a market crash, can't have it stolen, can't fake it with marketing. Nobody starts by brewing their best batch. Nobody walks into life ready to be their best self. Both come from embracing the process, respecting the natural law of growth, understanding that anything worth having carries the taste of time, patience, and uncompromising standards. The question ain't whether you're brewing something. You are. It's every single day. The question is whether you're brewing something worth aging, worth sharing, and worth being known for. The choice, it's always been yours. So you have to just ask yourself on a fundamental level, look in the mirror, and what is your next batch going to taste like? Because you're pouring all those ingredients, you're mixing it up every single day from the decisions you make. And that's the episode and the thoughts I want to leave you with today. I hope you guys do enjoy it. I appreciate everybody that tunes in every single day. Let me know some critiques, some comments, some other topics that you would like me to cover on this channel, as well as I appreciate everybody in the private community that joins. We cover topics like this and discuss it together as a group. We have meetings 5 times a week. Well, 7 times now, but 3 of those I'm with you guys, sometimes more. And appreciate everybody again who signs up to the private consults. The conversations have been a blast. Like usual, guys, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Protect your mind. Onward and forward.